cheeseburger.
This is Dennis Bergkamp, 1998, Holland, one of my favorite teams of all time.
Solid. I like it with the classic Adidas hat too. That's good stuff.
No, well, if I had the Nike with the Nike, you know, could have been better. Could have been more robust. I was thinking the O's hat would, with the orange and orange, but I don't know. Maybe you're clashing too much.
Yeah,
might be too.
I saw the 8 and I was like, huh. I mean, I know it's a soccer shirt, but it like for a Baltimore fan, like you could rock that around Baltimore and people would just think you were wearing like some sort of like Ripken polo.
Dennis Bergkamp is the Cal Ripken of Dutch soccer. Damn, what did you just chug there? Was that coffee?
Work with that.
Yeah, it was coffee. I've been a little under the weather right now, so I'm trying to make sure that I'm not, one, I don't have the COVID, because everything's COVID, so I want to make sure that that's not, I want to eradicate it. I want to trump it out of my system, if you will.
By the way, I appreciate that you refer to it always as the COVID.
That's what it's called.
Yeah. Oh, it's not just COVID-19 or coronavirus?
No, it's the COVID.
It's the COVID.
Yeah.
Because, and I got to be honest with you, I think it makes sense, even though I just say it kind of assholishly. There's many coronaviruses. There's many COVIDs.
Yeah.
This just happened, like the cold, the common cold is a COVID virus. It's just COVID-19 standing for this is the COVID virus that became prevalent in the year 2019. And so, it's the COVID because it's the one that trumps all other COVID viruses. So it's the COVID. It's the one. It's the one we're going to remember.
And in a matter of 2 minutes, you've pulled, whether you wanted to or not, to Trump, jokes, ba-ding, patap, patap.
I'm aware of what I'm doing.
Okay.
I got to admit, though, again, I know we're not getting into politics, Alan, I promise. But there has been this video going around of him at this fucking rally, the YMCA thing, where he's fucking bebopping it on stage like he's at Studio 66, just like, and I know people are mocking him for it, but for a virus that has taken over the entire globe and has shut down world economies, to see this fat 74-year-old out-of-shape windbag up there just doing the fucking YMCA boogie on a fucking rafter to a bunch of screaming idiots, I gotta say, it's kind of impressive. I don't care, just taking all the nonsense and putting it on the side shelf here. Seeing that guy up there doing that, considering he was wheezing like 4 days ago, he wanted to leave the hospital and rip open his shirt with a Superman shirt on underneath when he left Walter Reed.
Didn't hear that. Damn, but he got up and did a jig to the Village People?
Oh, yeah. He didn't do the YMCA thing.
Yeah.
Yo, man. Yes, got it.
I think I stand by our statement from, I think, the last 2 weeks that the bar is incredibly low. Like, that you described that as impressive. And I'll just leave it at that, I think.
Yes, I did. I will stand by that as well. I'll stand by that it's impressive. Considering that we're all supposed to have been sheltered in our homes for the last 7 months, or this invisible, deadly, the COVID is going to kill all of us, and then to have the guy whose main staple diet is Kentucky Fried Chicken and Hardee's cheeseburgers doing the YMCA boogaloo at a rally like 10 days after he was hospitalized. I think that's impressive.
Bar's pretty low.
This is like the 1896 high jump world record. That's where we're at right now, and that's way before the Fosbury flop. And I don't know if you guys know about the Fosbury flop.
No, I don't.
That is the modern technique of high jumping. It was invented by Dick Fosbury. Before they used to used to go in a more chest
Superman
first.
Straight over
Chest first, and they throw their legs over. You know who was a really good high jumper in college? Dave Winfield.
Any professional athlete, I would assume, is an edge above the average human at any really athletic achievement.
Wilt Chamberlain too could have been an Olympic medalist, not a gold medaler.
Wait! You're telling me that a guy who was 6'9",
Will
African American descent.
7'3", but you know who's counting, right?
Really great. Oh, I'm sorry. I was lowball. I was setting the bar even lower for the man. You're telling me that a man over 7 feet tall of African American descent with a genome built for athleticism was really good in athletic competition.
Hey man, the guy apparently could have been a world-class volleyball player too. All right, I think you're selling the guy short just a touch. And not
you mean the guy who's standing straight up? His eyeballs would have been right at the edge of the top of the net without raising his arms above his head. Would have been a great volleyball player.
He was a Harlem Globetrotter before he went to the NBA.
Wait, you're telling me that he was good at basketball before he played basketball?
He was good at real basketball and fake basketball.
I was going to say basketball-esque.
Hold on. Now, Wes, as the basketball aficionado here, like, are the Globetrotters fake basketball? Yes. I mean, I know that the technical competition of the game, the Washington Generals aren't exactly primo competition.
Okay. So the people who play for the Harlem Globetrotters are extremely talented basketball players. And if they were to play, let's say, against a Division I college basketball team, I think more often than not they beat them. A NBA team, no shot. But the competition that you watch against the the Generals, the Washington Generals. I got to get a Washington Generals jersey.
Yeah, you do. I think we all do.
Yeah. Let's do that. I'll set that up. You're sitting there like having 3 defenders go in merry-go-round circles. No, I mean that is very choreographed. That is very WWF, and I'm not talking E. I'm talking F.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
that's the exact comparison I was gonna make.
Agreed, but. Okay, in basketball, real basketball, they have set plays, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So the Globetrotter set plays, I mean, I know they're rather acrobatic and they're not well defended or anything, but the feats that they're performing night after night, hitting that same shot, like bounce pass under the legs in the air alley-oop every night.
Sure.
Like, I still feel like that's supreme basketball skill.
Yeah, and you have to suspend a little bit of belief to understand that you're throwing, a certain set play that requires you to throw it off the backboard 14 times and then back to another person behind you and then back off the backboard. And the person who's defending this doesn't understand the cadence of this. Sure, yeah, I guess if your athleticism is high and your basketball IQ is pretty low, you might get fooled over and over and over again. But I will say, the fans might take the cake on this because each and every night they get fooled by that fake bucket of water and the confetti gets thrown at them. Every time they're like, oh, no water.
Well, yeah, but you see, the beauty of that is there's always, like, the ref's always a plant because they always do get the ref with, like, the real bucket of water. So there's always the bucket of water. So it's always there. It's kind of, they're magicians. They're they're athletic basketball magicians.
Sure. Listen, man, I'm not I was at the University of Delaware basketball camp when I was 14 years old, and they had a Delaware graduate who played in Europe. They had Bobby Hurley, former Duke star, did play in the NBA for a little bit. And then they had a Harlem Globetrotter. Now, he was retired and in his 50s, but that dude balled out. That dude, sat there and made fools out of Division I guys. Like, okay, yeah, you're 6'9", I'm 5'9". All right, I bet you can't block this layup. It's like, boom, and went up. Now, it was not choreographed, but yes, what we see against the Generals, hell yeah, man. Come on, that's like you're talking about the ref being a plant. The ref gets smashed in the corner by a Jimmy Superfly Snuka fucking off the top ropes every time. It's knocked out for 10 minutes.
It's good entertainment.
One question, though, Wes.
Okay.
If the Globetrotters spent like a month choreographing an entire game, could they beat an NBA team one night only?
No.
No, not at all. There's no chance.
Zero chance. No.
Maybe the worst team in the league on a bad night.
Wait, but no, you're talking about choreographing gimmick offense. Are you talking about actually like a real structured NBA style offense, or we're going to entertain the crowd and beat the worst NBA team.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Go ahead.
They're gonna play to win, but just like any NBA team has set plays. They're gonna go down, they're gonna ball, they're gonna play D, they're gonna play offense, they're gonna try to get rebounds and everything. They're gonna play a real game, but their set plays are a little more kooky, a little more aerobatic, a little more
Sure.
amazing and fun-filled than your run-of-the-mill NBA team. But because an NBA team isn't used to seeing trick play after trick play after trick play, like if the game's close and the Globetrotters are playing Globetrotter ball, can they beat an NBA team? One night only. I'm not talking because NBA seasons are long, but there's always like the Rudy phenomenon. But for one night only, if the Globetrotters gave it their all, without an NBA team seeing how their style of play goes, could they beat an NBA team?
I feel like
their style.
I feel like you're okay. The answer is no. And maybe if they played 100 times, I'd give it one game where it would be close. I think if you spot the Globetrotters, some points possibly, but no
spotting,
no zero. Then no, Ben, because the athleticism and the just the sheer height. Yes, I'm sure Curly Johnson is a hell of a ball handler, but he's also like 5'9", and he's going to be going against a guy who's much younger, much taller, much more athletic. And I feel like, and I know we're getting off on a tangent here, and I had a point, but it's long gone. I feel like you're leading me into this conversation where you and Tom beat me and Teddy in a game. I feel like that's where this is going.
No, I don't need to lead you into two very below average white guys beat two above average, high school basketball athletes. I don't need to lead into that story where for one day and one day only, I was the greatest basketball player in Maryland. I don't need to go down that path. We don't need to hear that story right now. That's for another day. I just feel like if the Globetrotter guys can hit like 75% of their half court shots, that at some point they're just draining threes all day without any we're gonna run it down. Nope, no fast break. It's just a 5-point shot from 50 feet away,
like rock and jock basketball where there's 10-point spots.
No 10-point spots. I don't know. I just feel like you're underselling. I know they're more showman than basketball player, but I feel like it doesn't matter how great a showman you are, you can't create baskets out of thin air. You still have to be able to hit the shots, and these guys hit these shots over and over and over again. And I feel like if they practiced the first game, they could win, and then they'd lose all the rest of them. Where you're saying just like out of dumb luck, they'd end up accidentally winning a game.
Here's where I'd give them a chance. If they happen to be their own country in the Olympics, so you have the USA, Spain, France, that's not even Yugoslavia. Sorry, that's very early, late 90s of me.
We don't want to lose our Slavic audience.
Yeah, sorry. It's now
we're going to be ruined.
Man said Yugoslavia, and Harlem. The country of Harlem and the Globetrotters. I feel like they could probably eke out like a 4th place finish in an international competition.
God, you couldn't even just squeeze them up to bronze, could you? They'd probably be taking on Yugoslavia for the bronze medal.
Like they're not better than Argentina. They're not better than Spain. They're not better than France. They're not better than Lithuania. They're not better than the Russians. They're not better than China.
Yeah, China does literally make basketball players.
Yeah.
So. I feel like it's your job to just disappoint me all the time.
Well, you ask such ridiculous questions. You want to know if the fucking Globetrotters can, one night and one night only, after a month of legitimate practice, can the Globetrotters be the miracle on hardwood?
I think if it was just straight up without any gimmicks, they might be able to one night beat the worst team. But because they have to kind of gimmick it by your parameters, then absolutely not. I agree. If they had just played professional basketball, they were like, yep, we're going to have a game. They might be able to pull it off. The minute they have to the minute someone throws a fucking ball under their shirt and spins it around their body and it's over. Game's over.
Right. There's no pointing pointing into the stands and the defender turning like, hey, what was that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No,
I think the Globetrotters like hold the world record for like the most world records like ever set, and like I think at some point each individual like starting player on the Harlem Globetrotters held some sort of basketball world record. I just don't see how you could have 5 world record holders with a basketball couldn't beat just a bunch of guys that run up and down. There's only like 2 good guys on each basketball team. The other 3 are just there to make sure those 2 guys score all the points.
Yeah, that's relatively short-sighted to say, but fair enough. Yeah, I don't agree with you, but
that's kind of the basis of the whole sport.
Yeah,
only the top 0.1 zero nth to the nth degree percent of the sport. Yeah, but anyway, Mur, you had mentioned Twitter had given you a raw deal. I want to hear all about it.
Well, as you know, I was live tweeting the debates, and when the Pence Pence Kamala debate was going down, I was trying to find some funny little quips to throw up there, and apparently Twitter is not a fan of using the phrase active cunt face. Now, when I did this, because they both have really cunty faces, both Pence and Kamala Harris. Like Pence has that really pensive cunt face, and Kamala's just kind of like a natural cunt face. Let's be honest. All right, nothing against her one way or the other, but it's a cunty kind of face. Pence has a cunty face. I figured because I used both their pictures, it wouldn't be an issue. Now, I knew that the death blow would come if it was just her face, so I made sure I added Pence to it. It was no go. So, we got our Twitter account suspended for that. But I have said some rather terrible things about a lot of people and never gotten flagged. And I just feel like because it was a woman in the political realm, I feel like that's why we got ourselves suspended from Twitter. I deleted the tweet. And we're back. The account was reactivated as of today, but yeah, no, I got yanked off the tweets.
Should have just made a ghost account. And fucking fuck you, Twitter. Middle Classholes will never
succeed or die.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. I think it wasn't so much. I think it was the woman and the word cunt.
Is that? But what's okay? All right. I do have a rather serious question to ask. Mm-hmm. If we're going for equality, right? Because I saw no. I don't know where this is going, but I think I'm gonna like it. Go ahead.
Do tell.
I have said the most evil things that have ever fallen out of my face to the men of this world, and I have bit my tongue very harshly when it comes to commenting on women's opinions, which are usually terrible, their appearances, which are, God, there's only 10% of all females that are even attractive. And I have said, I've said these awful things about men, and it's never been a problem. But as soon as you start saying bad, mean, evil, awful things about women, all of a sudden it's misogynist, or, oh, you're being sexist, or, it's part of the patriarchy and the male dominant society. It's like, no, if you want to be equal, then you get to be a cunt too, and I get to tell you about it. Am I wrong?
I mean, no, you got my vote on that one.
Yeah, I just don't think you know enough about women's suffrage to be able to say such a thing. But no,
yeah, I mean, he's right in the grand scheme of things. I say that from a standpoint of I am a fucking unrelentingly honest person. So it doesn't matter who you are. I'm gonna call you that if that's what you are.
Right?
It does not bother me if it drives you absolutely fucking insane.
Is there a male counterpart to that word though? Because that word seems to be the trump or the bar is set very high with that word, and I just don't feel like there's something that equals that in the man's world, other than dickhead or asshole, which sometimes are terms of endearment. Like, yeah, I'm a dickhead. Yeah. I'm an asshole.
Well, I mean, all right, if we're really falling down this rabbit hole, I would say at one point in time, calling another guy a cocksucker would have been numero uno. Right. But now men are allowed to love sucking cock. So it's not really an insult anymore because, if I don't know, if there's a certain part of the population enjoys that procedure, then it doesn't pack quite the punch.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. And you know what though, men don't really get bothered by the worst thing in the world. Whatever the worst name you could call a guy, I just don't feel like it impacts their soul and psyche. Apparently, speaking as a non-woman, it doesn't seem to affect men quite the same way it seems to affect women. Or is it that they have this oppression card that they can pull out of their back pocket that says, I'm allowed to be more offended by this for some ethereal reason?
Yeah, well, probably. Yeah.
That's definitely part of it.
And I know it's 2020, but it's not exactly like, just a long time ago that things weren't exactly equal. I know that
they still don't make as much money as us in the same. There's legitimate reasons for them to not like us, and that's fair.
Yeah, and I have no problem with what you tweeted or attempted to tweet anyway, because Mike Pence certainly does have a resting. Was it active or resting?
Now, see, it was a play on the resting bitch face, so I went with active cunt face.
Active. Yeah,
see, I got that. I liked it.
Yeah, Mike Pence certainly, he probably even more so than Miss Harris, Senator Harris. Only when she wants to. When you talk about resting, not active, but resting, Mike Pence.
I'm pretty sure he's made out of plastic.
Yeah, but his hair is beautiful. That guy's hair is beautiful. Fly or not, man, that guy's hair is like molded. Man, I want my hair to look like that when I'm fucking 70.
You're damn right.
I just always kind of he just kind of strikes me as remember in the first Men in Black when that little tiny alien lived in that dude's face, in that dude's head. I'm not saying there's a little tiny alien in there. I'm just saying that it appears as though his face would come off like that alien. And you could like a Lego. You ever put a fucking hairpiece on a Lego guy? You just pop it on. It looks like they just pop that fucking bad boy on there, when it's time to go.
Yeah. No, I'm so mad that I lost my hair because I always wanted to go that kind of white. Like him, Anderson Cooper, Steve Martin. I always wanted to go pure white, not just salt and pepper. Just all of a sudden one day I wake up and it's boom. I'm like Gandalf the White, just coming out of the closet, just dude.
You missed out. You failed to mention
closet for some reason.
Ric Flair, who probably has one of the most beautiful locks of hair known to man. So
that's true, but his was always that super fine blonde that it didn't really as it changed white, it just changed a half a hue. It only kind of downgraded in color. Where they had stark black hair when they started the game.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was going to tell you guys, and I'm going to tell you now that we have a little bit of time before our first segment ends, or our first bit. So I had a funny story happen to me. Almost, it would have been great. Would have been phenomenal. So, Alan, you live near me. Andrew, you're kind of familiar with the areas that surround M&T Bank Stadium, right?
For the most part. I mean, it's all just
parking
lots.
It's all
very Baltimore-y to me.
So there's a handful of parking lots that are designated mostly for tailgating, but they'll use them for other stadium events, and you get your occasional parking for particular. In this particular lot, it's the Glass House, or the Maryland Glass Company, Alan, if you know what I'm talking about, at the end of Scott Street. So I'm walking back, or the people I was with, we were walking back from Checker Spot, and there's a group of cars meeting there doing a burnout type thing, where they spun around in circles and just, and it's a bunch of Chads and a bunch of Thads and a bunch of
definitely some
Chets and some Marks in their fucking souped out vehicles. And I was like, holy shit, listen, this is it. I need to go get my 2009 Hyundai Accent blue with a black door. It's 5-speed, and I need to go in there and fucking just
give it a whirl.
Just, go in there real slow, bump some J.O. felony, get some things going on, and fuck around. And of course, Sarah's like, no way. No, those people will fuck you up. And I was like, no, babe,
they're going to love it.
I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it. So we wanted to get beer first. And by the time we got beer and came back, it really wasn't that long. It was about 15 minutes. Cops had been called and it had been dispersed. Oh, man. I missed my opportunity. Fellas, listen, 38 years old. I hadn't had the fucking itch to do something like that in a long time. And I was like, yeah. It's like from Dumb and Dumber. It's like, oh, yup. Got an idea. And I was fuck, man, I was going to do it.
Okay, but what was going to be your approach? Were you going to roll in there, Jim Carrey style, hanging halfway out the door, like, hey guys, you want to feel some heat, and then start to rev it up, and then blow your engine because you haven't done that in your Hyundai Accent, and God knows how long, if ever.
Well, no, what we were going to do is the approach was if and only if I could get to maybe not front and center stage, but side stage, because there seemed to be a few groups of cars. And obviously, I wasn't going to muscle my way into the big pit, but one of the side pits.
Should have. They would have let you in,
perhaps,
just to see what was going to happen.
But I was going to rev it up and then stall out, and then maybe get like a little boop, chirp out of it, and then just start it and get the hell out of there before Chet and Thad beat the shit out of me.
Yeah, and that's what they would have done, and it's. Such a God, dude! You don't want to ever. Don't get involved with that with those people.
Here he is.
They're the worst.
Look at that. Look at this, Andrew. Don't get involved. Come on. I thought
Seriously,
for sure you'd have been like, hell yeah, get in there.
No, I understand if you had an audience, but to go roll in there solo just for the bit, that's I don't know. It's like Borat without a camera. It's just not funny. There's nothing to gain from it. You're gonna get that black door on your car kicked in to be replaced with a a silver door that doesn't match the car once again. I don't understand those people. I don't know who they're trying to impress but themselves. I don't know what the end game is for their little shenanigans. I don't know who's impressed by their cars, and I don't know why they get so they really do have a chip on their shoulder about something, and they would take all of those life beatings that they've received out on you for coming in to mock them. And they're pretty dumb, and it might have taken them a few minutes to realize that you were mocking them, but they would have figured it out eventually.
Well, they would have figured it out the second I fucking rolled it in there with a Hyundai Accent. What do you think? I would have convinced anyone that, hey, boys, heard some chirping around the corner, brought the old Hyundai down to show y'all what's up.
I don't know. There was a time that all of these guys started out with... What was that? That Dodge car? The Neon? Was that what it was called? What was that fucking shitbag car?
Yeah, I mean, they had Dodge Neons.
You're assuming these people were my age, or our age, rather.
But no, man, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it's like now, but I do remember, like Mur said, there was always the kids in high school with the shitty fucking, Civics. And dude, and some kid would naturally have a fucking Kia because that's all his mom would get him. And he was like, but fuck yeah, I'm going to get exhaust on this bitch and we're going to fucking ride so hard. We're going to put fucking stubs and fucking all types of goofy shit and make this fucking Kia amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And so people would have been like, look, that shit's probably got a sweet ass engine in it, and then you rolled up and fucking, it died.
Well, and you say that, but your celebrity doppelganger, Dax Shepard, he has a family station wagon. I can't remember what make and model it is, but it's it's got the fake wood panel along the sides, and it's a total straight up station wagon hatchback, the family truckster, and he has had all the insides gutted. And it will beat pretty much any production car on the road. And he just likes to pull up to people in stoplights and then just show them who the fucking boss is.
Yeah. So you never know.
Yeah, Tony Danza.
Your black door could be a fucking ruse.
That's right.
They take this shit seriously.
I got a cherry bomb in this motherfucker. All right. It cost me $40. It's illegal as shit. I got some lights. Got a few tips.
The best thing you could have done was go in there and challenge each and every one of those assholes to parallel park somewhere on a Baltimore street.
That would have got
your fucking dominance.
That would have got me into the club. I want to hit on this real quick. We spoke on this about a few weeks ago. All right. Jetpack Man who fucked around with the airplane over LAX at 3,000 feet. Apparently, some dipshit or the same motherfucking dipshit that once flew that jetpack at 3,000 feet topped it by twice the goddamn amount, 6,000 feet. This was apparently discovered by a China Airlines crew reporting seeing what appeared to be someone in a jetpack at approximate altitude of 6,000 feet, about 7 miles northwest of LAX. The FAA was alerted. Let's see. First, they couldn't figure out whether or not it was someone in a jetpack or a UAV. Do you guys know what that means?
Unmanned aerial vehicle.
That's correct. Later on in the article, they interviewed... let's see here. David Mayman, CEO of Jetpack Aviation, they had asked him about this, and he said, there's anyone working on technology that could do a flight from ground level to 3,000 feet. Basically what he was saying was no one could do that from 3,000 feet and come back down. And he said, quote, they'd run out of fuel. They'd use up the fuel too quickly. If it's a real jetpack, it's noisy. People would have heard it take off and land. But then again, he basically says that if it's something that did fly 6,000 feet, whoever flew this probably built it themselves. Yeah, Murray, you're sitting here doing a dance. You're saying that there's some sort of rogue jetpack game going on in LA.
Well, the last time we talked about this, you seemed rather convinced that there was some sort of jetpack store rolling around the greater Los Angeles area.
Well, maybe not a jetpack store. This guy was Jetpack Aviation, and then they said, and there's a Jetman Dubai, which is another company that says that they built one that flew at 6,000 feet. Now that was during a test.
That guy drops out of an airplane in order to fire up the old jetpack and fly around. Like, if I feel like these guys would know if somebody was up there. The air traffic controllers would know if there was somebody, taking a plane off. They'd be able to narrow it down to see who was flying around in the area for somebody to flop out in some sort of, and those jetpacks, like the Jetman Dubai and all that, you might think that was a Cessna. You wouldn't necessarily look at that and say, like, the only way you would be able to figure out if it was a man was you'd see his legs flopping out the back of basically just a giant wing. Mm-hmm. That's what the Jetman Dubai thing looks like. And the Jetman Dubai and that guy you're talking about, they build their own jetpacks. Like, you have to custom build jetpacks. Like, they're not just willingly out on the market. Look, man, there's like these YouTube channels of these guys that recreate, like movie stuff, like Marvel movie stuff. Can we make Captain America's shield for real? Can we make the Iron Man suit for real? There are amateur inventors out there that are really smart, very Elon Musk-esque, that don't give a fuck, and they have the ability to get their hands on technology to build these parts. I think there's somebody out there who's on to something, and this is their way of getting exposure.
Okay, Alan, do you think it's the same person who flew 3,000 feet who has now doubled that feat?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, same exact person or same group?
Probably same person, because I think if the group has designated one, could be a different person, one or two people tops though. But I think same person. They're like, you're the fucker that straps it on. This was your idea. Or, that's kind of how that went down. Or right? That's how I imagine it would go down if it was us.
You have a screw loose and nothing to lose. Get your ass up there.
Like, you go for it, motherfucker.
Now more than a fucking mile high. What I was going to say about this is, this has to stop. This has to stop. If you fly a mile high, okay, what do you say? Listen, what do I mean is that you're sitting there playing fucking chicken with planes flying out of LAX, okay? If you want to do this in Utah or Wyoming or fucking North Dakota or something like that, where you're not screwing around with international traffic, air traffic, then that's fine. But and you want to fall from 6,000 feet to plunge to your own death, whatever. But if you're sitting there fucking around with 757s with 300 plus people on board and like, hey, I'm Bobcat Goldthwait, everybody. Like, you're gonna fuck it. You're gonna screw something up. You're gonna fly into you're gonna get intercepted by a goddamn jet propulsion engine and kill everybody.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
That's fair.
Because, and I say it that way because I don't like it. I want to see this guy I want to see him go to fucking 12,000. God damn it! Let's keep going.
Yeah, and I feel like the guy who has the smarts to be able to build a machine like this, it's never been built before, probably has a good idea of what he's doing while he's up there. Yeah, he's a little nutty. He's a little crazy. But nobody told Evel Knievel, hey, you think that's one too many buses? No, fucking go for it, dude. Yeah. And he might be doing it out there because, there's a giant body of water to one side that you're not going to get anywhere else. If you're going to crash and you want to go down into the water, maybe that's how they're not getting caught. Maybe because they can just kind of glide it down to a boat and take off. I know that we can do a lot of things technologically, but finding people on the water still seems to be that one little hazard that the old United States government hasn't quite been able to figure out just yet. So maybe that's their way of staying incognito.
I disagree.
On what grounds,
there's
sir?
An entire if you need the Pacific Ocean to pillow or soften any type of emergency landing, there's an entire coastline. You don't need to do it anywhere within proximity of LAX airport. These people are doing it to be seen by and to make headlines as to what we're seeing, what we're talking about right now. Which it's weird. I don't know. We need things to talk about.
Dude,
but
fucking Tony Stark did that shit in the Hollywood Hills.
Boom.
Okay, we're on par right now. Like, it seems like everything's working out exactly as scripted. Is all I'm saying. So I think fuck it. Let's go right around LAX.
Screw around with airspace.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying kind of.
Because I feel like you just proved your own point. Like, you shouldn't be screwing around with airspace unless you want exposure. Fine, you win. He's doing to get exposure.
You can't gain. You have to be seen by China Airlines at 6,000 feet in order to gain exposure. You can't do this at somewhere else and get a fucking local news crew. Chris, you could go to Salt Lake City, Utah, and be like, "Hey, KB XYZ, fucking watch this."
You get more exposure being a fly-by-night felon than you do by being a carnival freak show like on the local news channel with Stacey Abrams. We've got a man who built his own jetpack coming up at 11.
Exactly. That's exactly what would have happened.
Right.
At the fucking fair.
Well, listen, someone's going to die at 9,000 feet, all right? It's not going to be jetpack propulsion man. It's going to be him and 360 people aboard a Boeing 767.
And that motherfucker will make international news.
God. All right, everyone's everyone's favorite Netflix show via the quarantine, depending upon where you come from, likely for the most part was Tiger King. And what made news stories here recently via Nat Geo, our old buddy Doc Antle. What was his name, Alan? Bagavan?
Bagavan?
Bagavan Doc Antle has been brought up on charges of wildlife trafficking and animal cruelty related to his activity with lions. So he owns the Myrtle Beach Safari, which is a prominent face of attraction and touted cub petting of tigers long before Joseph Maldonado Passage or Joe Exotic gained notoriety earlier this year in his starring role in the Netflix documentary series Tiger King. Antle's 37-year-old facility, which he runs with 3 girlfriends and his children, has long been popular with celebrities in seeking to cuddle tigers. So on October 8th, the Virginia Attorney General's office charged Antle with 1 felony count of wildlife trafficking, 1 felony count of conspiracy to traffic wildlife, 4 misdemeanor counts of conspiracy to violate the Endangered Species Act, and 9 misdemeanor counts of animal cruelty. So apparently the clown that he was doing business with, Keith Wilson, owner of Wilson's Wild Animal Park in Winchester, Virginia. If you thought Antle's charges were a lot, here are the rap sheet on Wilson. He's been indicted on identical charges to Antle, plus 4 additional counts of conspiracy. Wilson already was facing 46 counts of animal cruelty in relation to a November 2019 raid that resulted in authorities confiscating 119 of his animals. It's illegal to sell lions protected under the Endangered Species Act across state lines. Both of these clowns are in deep water. Does any of this shock any of you? I know that he seemed to be an outlier in the series. He was just like this guy that says, "Oh yeah, I do what I do." The real trouble was with Carol Baskins and Joe Exotic, but now old Bagavan, he's facing the stick.
I think what shocks me is he wasn't arrested for running a fucking cult.
That's it. Took the words right out of my mouth, sir.
Cults,
as I say, a cult, a brothel, I believe, most likely. Is definitely polygamy going on, which I think is illegal in most states other than Utah.
Is it illegal? Is it illegal to be Mormon? Is it illegal to be Mormon?
No.
Well, I mean, it's illegal to be like old Mormon. Yes. There's a whole community in Mexico. Yeah. Like Mitt Romney's family, like they moved to Mexico so they could bang multiple wives. Like, yeah. So yeah, technically that is, it's technically illegal. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Bottom line is Carol Baskin wins again. That's what this is.
Yeah.
If you go back, and I haven't gone back and rewatched Tiger King, maybe I will one day. I feel like once was enough for me. Yeah. But it was her life's mission to shut all the competitors down in one way or another. And she's her name's not Carol, it's Karen Baskins. She is the Karen of wildlife rescue. I'm doing it right. They're doing it wrong. And she was like lobbying Congress people to go and like have them investigate. And the squeaky wheel gets the oil. And I feel like she probably just lobbied enough people. All these guys, all these wildlife people are breaking or skirting a law in some capacity. And I think it's just he's arrested on a technicality because the guy he was dealing with was a shitbag. All these people that deal with animals are shitbags in some capacity. But why do we care? I thought we wanted these animals to live.
Well, yeah, I did. When you say a technicality, I counted it up. It's about 16 technicalities according to the VA General's office or Attorney General's office. But you did bring up a good point when you said pretty much anyone who's dealing with these exotic cats are probably breaking the law in one way or another. But I guess the payoff has to be worth it. 3 wives and children or not, right?
Yeah. A thriving... He created a thriving destination for tourism for his state. He employed how many countless people over the years. He saved and created the lives of how many endangered species. If these animals are so endangered, why do you care how people breed and sell them? I know their lives may not be all that worthwhile after they pop out of their tiger and lion vaginas, but they're breathing, their hearts are pumping, the DNA still exists. They're not wiped off the face of the planet. So why do we care how they're kept as long as they exist?
Well, while I may be the resident Middle Classholes Harlem Globetrotter expert, I'm going to defer to Alan, who's our resident Middle Classholes endangered species specialist on this one.
True.
Go ahead.
That's true. Thank you, Wesley. So, I mean, I'm kind of with you on this one, Murr, because if they're endangered, right, gotta keep them alive. And keeping them alive sounds like number one goal.
Right.
So, however that needs to get accomplished, we need to do that. If we got to Jurassic Park them, we Jurassic Park them. But we get them alive. That's the baseline. The next kind of step up from that is, should we have some in the wild? For posterity? To be like, hey, that's what they do. That's what they, actually do. And I'm pointing to them in the distance that you can't see me. So I think there is a small population that I think you kind of need to have in the wild. You can't just be like, all right, we're going to shove a fucking bunch of dolphins in a tank. We got dolphins, though, guys, just in case. I think you still got to leave a couple out there, and you got to have some balance to the endangered species. It's like, yeah, sure, make some tiger mills. I'm okay with it. Let's chuck a couple of those back up in the jungles of Indonesia, though. because we should.
Sure. And I'm okay
that's all
with
I'm saying.
Normal, everyday, sane-minded human beings are not going to breed exotic, wild animals that can gnaw your face off in the snap of a finger. Okay? Tuna oil should not be the catalyst for murder. You know, like, so normal people are not going to have these types of animals. It takes weirdos and vagabonds like Doc Antle and Joe Exotic and, you know, to a lesser extent, a Carol Baskin. But I don't see fucking like Ugandan Air or Nigeria fucking airlines coming over to take tigers back over to the homeland. I don't see them doing that. So to me, they're just as culpable. Like, Homeboy can pop out 100 tigers in a year, but nobody's coming to grab the tigers and take them back to the wild. So how's this guy to blame? There's more tigers in captivity in Texas than there are alive in the wild today. That's a travesty.
You look that
Why
up?
don't we just ship them over?
You look that up? That's
Well,
Yeah, so
that's like a fact.
oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a
well,
fact.
first of all, you illiterate Tiger King fuck, it's sardine oil, not tuna oil. All right. And second of all,
Fuck you.
Well, I think my biggest qualm with what he had to say was, I don't think tigers are native to Africa. I think they're native to Asia,
India,
and like
yeah,
South Pacific.
yeah. So Ugandan
I mean,
Air.
shipping them over there, I guess, would be kind of cool. You know,
Right. Yeah.
we could figure some things out. I think.
Dump an invasive apex predator into Uganda. Yeah, it could be fine.
I think preferably you would want to drop them into like an Asian jungle, Vietnam, Thailand. Thailand sounds good.
Yeah.
Lots of jungle there.
You know how much people don't care about tigers is because people like me who fancy themselves rather intelligent on dumbass fucking information don't realize that they come from fucking Indonesia and Malaysia. In fact, there's a Siberian tiger. Okay, fine. Drop them off in Russia. Okay?
Touche.
Yeah.
There's more land mass in Africa than there is in Myrtle Beach.
All right.
Still, it'd be a fun place for them to run around. And
Yeah, but then how would Doc Antle wear these cool hats with his one side rolled up and his gold hoop earring? Like,
Yeah.
I still think that this is a case of good old-fashioned American loophole. We can't take this guy down for running a cult because nobody's complained about it. So let's get him for all the other shit that we technically have on the books. I just don't like all the charges he's up against. I mean, can't we just simplify it like, hey, man, you're not allowed to do that? Give him a chance to either rectify the situation or just charge him for what you really want to charge him with. But all this other like nonsense is just bullshit.
Well, here's what this reminded me of, and I know, Murr, you may or may not have caught glimpses of this. This is back in the day with our brethren from Phi Tau at Maryland, when they were constantly in and out of probation with the fraternity council. When they would get back on, they were allowed to have parties, and basically the parties were so tightly clamped down with rules and restrictions and things like that it became impossible to have a party. Just like they think like, someone who came to the party, who wasn't a part of the fraternity, who doesn't live here, brought a 6-pack of Bud Light. The beer registry said that everyone was bringing Milwaukee's Best Light. Like, well, how the hell am I supposed to go to the liquor store with 150 people who are going to show up here and make sure that each and every person brings a 6-pack of Milwaukee's Best? How the hell am I supposed to be able to do that? My point is, what laws are there that talk about trafficking a tiger or a lion or an endangered species or feline from Virginia to South Carolina? You know what I mean? Like, you can't do it. If you cross the state line with a fucking lion, you're breaking the law, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
I think that's the gist of it. Yeah.
Right. Unless you probably sign away and you pay a fuck ton of money to the state and say, yep. In this case, it would be 2 states because you're going through North Carolina.
Using your college party analogy here, the basics are we don't want you to have drinking parties at your fraternity house.
Yeah.
That's what they want to say. But because it's America, they can't demand that of you. Mm-hmm. So they come up with all these loophole schemes to be able to shut down a party when you do have it. And the same thing happens. Like, well, we don't really want people to own exotic animals, but it's America, and we can't stop you from having 2 lions that happen to fuck and have another lion. So what we can do is create this loophole: is if someone else touches that lion that came out of your other lion's asshole, then you're now in trouble for trafficking lions. And that's how they get you. They don't want you to do it, period. Yeah. But they can't stop you, so they find ways to arrest you when you do it. That's all it is. I don't feel bad for Doc Antle. I just don't like this, like, super secret probationary, you're under arrest. They want to prevent people from doing this. I understand. Right. But it's always bullshit when they get caught.
They certainly don't want to stop the lions from fucking, though. They want to keep that lion sex fucking hooting and hollering, right?
Yeah,
it, man.
Are lions endangered?
What's that?
Are lions endangered?
I think all big animals are endangered, I guess. I don't know. What the hell do I know?
Yeah, we don't need facts. We don't need facts to make our points.
Big animals. Well, can I ask just one quick question? What's the line for big? Like, what's the bottom? What's the smallest big animal in Western?
Human.
The smallest big animal is a human?
No,
we're not endangered.
No, I'm saying anything non-human that's bigger than us is probably endangered.
I'd agree with that. I would say anything. I would say most predators, most apex predators are endangered. I would say that's the case. You know why? Because we fucking took them all out. Because we are the apex predator. Don't ever think otherwise, okay? Which way do our eyes face? Forward. And we fucked them all up. I don't feel bad for these animals. I actually don't even give a shit if any of these endangered species go the fuck away. There's more space for us. All right? We always talk, we're running out of land. No, we're not. We're running out of endangered species that we haven't killed off yet. That's why we don't have enough land, because we're saving it for them for no reason.
Right. I understand ecosystems getting destroyed and things like that. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I guess we could just do it.
We have a guy in Los Angeles that can build a jetpack that goes a mile high in his garage. We can build new ecosystems.
Yeah. I'm kind of with Merle on this one, because I think, aren't we like past the tipping point anyway? Let's just ride this motherfucker into oblivion. Like, let's just cut every fucking tree down and see how long it takes for all of us to suffocate.
Yeah, right. That's the survival of the fittest. I have no problems with what Doc Antle was doing. I think this imaginary line bullshit, kind of a la George Young and Blow, that I took a plant and I went across a few state lines that were imaginary. If there was some sort of recovery program to where you're then shipping some of these off, but then again, I don't know. Are these countries willing to take these? I doubt it. So then what do you do? Do you just create more petting zoos, or do you let them loose in the Georgia wild and have them?
Well, here's the problem. Like, see, that's the thing is, so you've only got so many zoos, and like nobody goes to fucking zoos anymore. So they're all strapped for cash, which is how I think fucking tigers end up on black markets anyway, and get to guys like Doc Antle. But that's a whole fucking different story. But fucking, like, you can't just throw them back in the wild, which is kind of fucking useless. Like, for being apex predators, I've always gotten, like, this has always kind of fucked me up. Like, I watched Discovery Channel, and David Attenborough's like, look at this beautiful fucking cat, but we can't put it back in the jungle because it's too fucking stupid. It's just been getting fucking hand-fed raw chicken by a guy in khaki for 20 years, and it's fucking useless. And so, like, I just, like, that always bugged me, because I feel like we should be able to just take those 100 fucking tiger kittens and be like, all right, jungle, nurture them to fucking adulthood.
I agree.
But that's not how it happens. Like, they'll get killed by, like, a fucking bird, and it's just embarrassing. And so there's a double-edged sword for me, because I'm like, yeah, let's use these tigers that have been milled like fucking French bulldogs for elite white women, fucking, and just throw them back into the wild. But you can't, because they're dumb. Like,
but I feel like that's bullshit. I feel like that's a line that they use so people stop breeding them, because they're like, well, we can't put them back in the wild if you breed them. Bullshit. We haven't tried. Let's try.
No, I think we have tried, and they just fucking wander around and die.
Okay. Then they're not badass, and they deserve to die. They deserve to die off if they can't handle growing up in a cage for a year or two. Okay, where's the instinct? This goes back to the Globetrotter theory here. So, Wes, they play 100 games, they win one, okay, against an NBA team. So you release 100 domesticated lions and tigers out into the wild, and if one of them survives, that's a victory. Then the rest of the ecosystem gets to feed on fresh lion blood. Yippee-ki-yay, everybody wins.
I think it just, like, it comes down to, so, like, this is where it gets me, is, like, I feel like eating, like, hunting and shit like that should come natural, so it shouldn't be a problem. But, like, I think where the true problem might come in, like, this is why I'm so torn, because I'm like, sure, fucking mill them up, drop them in the jungle. But we can't drop them in the jungle. It's not that simple. But fucking, I think the problem is like, all right, say they're in captivity for a year or two. Fucking one of them like breaks a fucking paw, and we humans put it in a splint, and we nurture it, and it's fine. But in the jungle, if one of those fucking cubs breaks a leg, they're like, oh well, cub, peace out. We got to keep moving, and it just dies. And so we've softened them up too much.
It's still the circle of life, baby. I mean, look, and as far as like releasing like these things back into the wild, like it's the Die Hard scenario here. You've got the Ellises of the world, and you got the John McClanes of the world. Okay, one of them's gonna crack under pressure. One of them's gonna thrive. You gotta let the John McClanes thrive, man. Anyway, I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
Would we overpopulate if we just dumped them all back? Would that be a problem?
No. Go back like a century and imagine how many like wild tigers there were.
Yeah, but there were less people, so
just because there was more tigers.
So do villagers? Villagers just start fucking getting?
No, they right? shoot them. They shoot them more, and we put more back in, and they shoot those. Circle of life. Murph said it.
There you go. Fuck it.
Yeah. I mean, people want those nice, beautiful pelts. So if there's pelts to be had, it balances right back out. You don't have to worry. I mean, and I think about all certain countries like employ like massive like militias to go out and make sure people aren't poaching. Imagine if you don't have to worry about the poachers. You make them pay a crap ton of money to you want to kill a tiger? Yeah, we got like thousands of them. We don't need them anymore. Most of them are dumb. They're just hanging out by the river waiting for a bullet to go through their eye.
I've kind of just come to a realization, and I think that's that we, us three, are probably not the best people to speak on this. We've basically gone from fucking puppy petting and puppy milling tigers and being like, oh, well, that's kind of frowned upon, right? And then working our way to dumping them into the wild or their natural habitat for the now humans to kill them to provide furs to a market that probably wanted to pet tiger kittens anyway.
They're easier to pet when they're dead.
We've really just filled the void that we made. We're in the exact same place the long way around.
Right.
Yeah.
Is all I'm saying.
Does
Doc Antle doesn't spend 20 years in jail.
Does he do time?
That's exploiting endangered species.
Does he do time? Yes or no?
Yeah, they're gonna get him with something.
Like a slap on the wrist or hard time?
I think in the investigation, something's going to come out about his sex cult. Oh, they're going to have killed someone, or like one of them was definitely 17 and he didn't know. You know what I mean? He fucked up. So I think that's what's going to happen. And then they're just going to be like, oh man, now we got to take all the tigers away. They're gone. You're going to federal prison now. That's what's happening.
I agree with Alan in most points here. I think he loses his tiger ranch to pay for the legal bills where he's found out to have done something freaky with his colt, and he goes to jail for the colt and loses the tiger farm in order to pay the legal bills to fight the endangered species trafficking laws.
Okay, I say he does less than a year. But we can keep track of this. And also I want to keep track of the fact that this is the third straight podcast that we've brought up cults. We're going to see if we can keep that going. And not with a news story that talks about cults. We did Russian Jesus. We did talk about starting a cult. Now we're talking about Doc Antle's cult.
Oh, is this whole like production not designed for us to start our own cult? Because that's what
my goal.
That's what I thought.
Otherwise, I'm out.
Yeah, that's what I thought we were doing.
We're gonna start playing soothing music with overturns at the end of this.
Maybe we can hire Viserion to come over and run the Doc Antle compound minus the tigers.
Yeah, Russian Jesus, man. Russian Jesus.
Can we get a different kind of animal that's just not like it's not an apex predator?
Like llamas? Alpacas?
Yeah,
Alpacas
that could work.
Fun.
Alpacas could work. I think they're kind of dicks, though. We'd have to think about that.
They're dicks, but they're soft.
Yeah. I guess you could just, like, what if you could just, how big are they? Could you just fucking, like, spear one?
How big are these soft dicks? I don't know.
I feel like you could fight, you could knock out an alpaca, I think, with a good right hook.
Could you just fucking tackle it, though? Could you just clean it out?
They got big necks. I feel like you could choke them out.
What do you think? These people ran a fucking petting zoo with tigers. You think they can't handle alpacas?
No, I'm not talking them. I'm talking about us, bro.
Yeah, well, but
our cult comes together.
Yeah, that's right. But we're taking over the facility with Russian Jesus. The help doesn't go to jail.
Yeah, but we don't want tigers, is what we're saying. Yeah, but that's a risky fucking game.
The help doesn't go to jail. Just Doc and his mistresses. Or
his mistresses. They got to be kind of like I don't know, like Amazonian, like kind of hefty, ripped chicks that could take on an alpaca. They can fuck with tigers. They can fuck with an alpaca.
This would be a no ma'am facility. That's a Al Bundy reference. I don't know if you
a no ma'am facility.
Well, in that case, I'm out.
It does sound counterproductive to cult creation.
Yeah.
There's like a couple main things for cult creation. It's like marrying multiple wives.
Yeah. I thought we tackled this in the last episode where we need the women to produce more cult members.
Breaking federal arms laws,
sure.
Usually in purchasing and or selling, and then ultimately mass murder.
While under the umbrella of a bunch of alpacas. God, it sounds like
a
murder
giant
mystery.
Alpaca ranch out in the middle of nowhere. We're super friendly. We have petting zoos that we come to you. It's totally fucking innocuous.
Wow. Andrew, we got you had brought up a story. Give us a little skinny on the shit that's going down up at I don't even know what Alaska is. Alaska is the 50th state. I don't even know.
I think Alaska came after Hawaii, and we bought it from Russia for like $12 million, which is a steal because I think we pump out like $12 million of oil in like a week right now.
We were like, give us that oil.
I want to say it's called the New Frontier State, but anyway, the brass of the biggest town in there is caught up in a little bit of a scandal.
Yeah, this is this is perfect Alaskan politics. I'm just going to read the story from USA Today. The mayor of Alaska's largest city submitted his resignation Tuesday night, 4 days after an anchorwoman at a local television station threatened to report he had posted nude photos of himself on a website. Ethan Berkowitz. Oh, man, I can't take these names. Ethan Berkowitz. Oh, Berkowitz.
Yeah.
Isn't that like one of the,
Right, you betcha.
One of the famous serial killers. Ethan Berkowitz admittedly denied her allegations, adamantly denied her allegations, but on Monday admitted that he had an inappropriate relationship with Maria Athens, the anchor at the Fox ABC combined station in Anchorage. Quote, "It is with profound sadness and humility that I resign as mayor of the municipality of Anchorage," he said in a statement. The saga that has been the buzz of Anchorage started when Athens posted a video on her Facebook page Friday, the same day the station barred her from the station. In the video, she claimed that she would break a story that night, claiming Berkowitz posted nude photos to an underage website. Okay. Wesley?
Yeah, you betcha. Here we are.
Hello there, Maria Athens from Fox ABC CW Newsnet National Alaska. Breaking news, according to reliable sources, Anchorage Mayor Ethan Berkowitz has his male genitalia posted on an underage girl's website. Coming up tonight, Fox 4 News at 9, ABC News at 10, CW News at 12:30, and Newsnet National for sure will cover this. You heard it here first.
like Howard Dean should come in there at the end. She later also posted what she said was a photo of the mayor's nude backside. Berkowitz's office immediately denied the unsubstantiated allegation. A day later, Anchorage police said that they and the FBI investigated and found no evidence of criminal conduct. She also went on to, well, I think this audio just kind of speaks for itself. There's a lot of fun language in there that I'd rather her say than me.
That's so good.
Coming at you.
Ethan, it's Maria Athens from Fox ABC, CW, Newsnet, National Alaska. I just learned through my Emmy Award-winning journalism, you're also a pedophile in, like, little girls and children. And there's a website. I'm so fucking exposing you. I'm going to get an Emmy. So you either turn yourself in, kill yourself, or do what you need to do. I will personally kill you and Mara Kimmel, my goddamn self, you Jewish piece of living fucking shit. You have met your match, motherfucker. You have met your motherfucking match. I can't believe I am such a good person and thought I loved you. I don't even hate you. I will pray for your Zionist fucking ass, you piece of shit loser. And I'm putting this on the news tonight. Bye. Have a great Friday, you motherfucker.
God. I like how she throws in there of all this stuff like, I'm going to win an Emmy. that's I just need to tell you all in the midst of screaming at you about how you are a crazy Jewish piece of shit and you're a cocksucker and you expose yourself to little children and et cetera, et cetera. Oh, I'm going to win an Emmy. Just so you know.
Now, I know we started the show talking about equality, and I got us banned from Twitter for a short period of time for using the word cunt. Has there ever been the personification of the word more than what we just saw and listened to right there?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't even.
I couldn't. Her facial expressions were rough to kind of take in my opinion.
Yeah. I look. Bottom line is this: we are in a bad way, politically speaking. We're in a bad way. Somehow, these are the people. You know what it is? You know how like little leagues like went downhill at some point because like all the asshole parents just took over and decided that they were going to run the organization. I feel like that's what's happened with America. Just the people that really wanted to do it more than they should want to do it ended up doing it. And this is where we are. And I'm talking about people that are in the media, people that are in office. They're all just really scummy. And I don't know how to like take it.
So I wondered when I read this why Mayor Berkowitz of the great city of was it Anchorage?
Anchorage.
Yeah, sorry. I was going to say Juneau there for a minute. Why he would decide to put his hee into a crazy like that. But then I saw this picture. And now I get it. Okay, Mr. Berkowitz is 58, looks, I don't know, relatively normal. Looks like he probably was a mathlete in high school. and perhaps, and I get it. Miss Athens is 41, attractive. Shoo-wee, man. Mr. Berkowitz, I hope you learned your fucking lesson, pal. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but good God. No, he didn't?
No, he didn't learn his lesson.
What do you mean he didn't learn his lesson? He fucking resigned from the goddamn, as mayor of the city, and he's probably going to get divorced by his fucking wife? Didn't learn his lesson.
He has no choice but to resign. And I guarantee you that all of this was orchestrated by her. Now, I'm not saying that he's not a scumbag for cheating on his wife and banging up on her and all that jazz.
She's going to win an Emmy, just so you know.
Yeah, was she going to win the Emmy before or after she killed him and his wife?
Well, I just think it was based upon her discovery that he was exposing himself to young children. I don't know. That's the way I take it. I don't know.
If I was to investigate, if I was the investigator on this whole matter, the first thing I would do was see who uploaded his photos to where. Because I guarantee, I got a sneaking suspicion that she had the nude photos and she's the one that uploaded them to the underage sites or sent them to underage girls just to make sure that he was completely and totally buried. And it doesn't even matter if the story's true or not. It just has to initially be true before investigation. The guy's political career is done for now. Right. We hired a crackhead twice to run Washington, D.C. Let's never forget, may God rest his soul, Marion Barry.
Marion Barry. And I'm not exactly sure where the mayor of Anchorage, Lasco's professional career or political career was going to go, but I want to hear Alan's take on this. He's our representative in politics, having sex with crazy local news anchors. He's our expert in this. So let's hear it.
Yeah, the resident political sex scandal correspondent here at the Middle Classholes. So, yeah, I think he fucked up. That's my formal. It's my formal diagnosis. I think he really fucked up. I mean, he cheated on his wife. That's usually bad. That's usually not a good thing. And then he did it with the news anchor, who I think, as we had discussed a little earlier, with the media in general, is just a little wacky, and the people who are in it are just a little wacky. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you should have stayed away. I get it. The red lipstick really got you. It really got you, buddy. But you fucked up.
So okay.
I mean,
we watched her. We heard a clip of her, and we watched her talk there for, I don't know what it would seem like. It was about a minute. It seemed like an eternity. Mm-hmm. I think it takes a reasonable, rational man about literally 15 seconds to understand. Wow. Yep. Can't fuck with that. What do you think this guy's train of thought was? Wow, I'm the mayor of Anchorage. I can fuck with that.
The mayor of fucking Anchorage, man. You know the fuck I am? I'm fucking something Berkowitz because I didn't hear his first name.
Ethan.
Oh, fuck, what a shitty name.
You're in the most backwoods political arena that exists in America. Yeah. Okay? You're in like America Junior, off in the middle of nowhere. Just to give you an idea of how bare bones basic this news organization she works for is, it's both an ABC and Fox affiliate. Okay? Yeah. So two competing affiliates in one umbrella, which very rarely happens except in the most rural areas humanly possible. She has press credentials, so there's a reason for her to spend a lot of time with him. She is Alaska hot. And he's not going to do any better, and I can guarantee his wife doesn't look like her. So he's got a reason to talk to her all the time. She's got a reason to have access to him all the time. They both have a mutual beneficial relationship outside of, penises and vaginas. She can give him good press coverage, and he can give her, political dicking.
The hot lead.
And so I would like to know what soured this relationship. Like
he definitely fucked somebody else.
I guarantee it was something. It was probably something like, I think I just really love my wife. Yeah. It was probably something super innocuous like that.
She wanted him to leave his wife for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. In my opinion,
that's fair. I mean, that's fair.
I'm not
it's either that or the fucking new weather girl. Just, I don't know. We got to check this fucking weird ass double affiliate shit.
This
but
Fox,
they might have hired themselves a new weather girl.
Fox ABC Anchorage.
And, the mayor of Anchorage don't play around.
And what's going to get a semi-hot reporter out of Alaska faster than burying a politician in a political underage girl sex scandal? That's her angle. Yeah. He's wrong, but she's insane.
Yeah. So does this guy run for political office anywhere anymore? Ever?
No.
Nah.
Does she?
I don't know. It depends. I think Alaska's pretty fucking out there. Right. I watched a couple shows on Discovery Channel about people that live up. So I think if you go further north, he could probably get one of those podunk towns up there that just like hunt seal like two months a year.
Run an Eskimo village.
Yeah, like they fucking like catch whitefish and salmon. They like go seal hunting, and they get themselves like one moose, and that's it. Good to go.
He'll
for
be
like
our
6 months.
he'll be our alpaca trainer at the new joint in the facility. Does this springboard her career? Even though what we saw was legit ape shit.
Springboards it to Juno.
I'm pretty sure that the threat of murder and anti-Semitic language is pretty much going to bury your rural Alaska media career. I think that might be the death knell.
What was the quote? You Jewish piece of shit cocksucker.
I'm gonna find it.
Motherfucking shit, I believe, or something along those
You
lines.
piece of. I'm gonna win an Emmy. Jewish shit.
I mean, at least she kept the ish on. She went with.
I can't get over that. I think this is so great that in the midst of that fucking tirade, she said, "I'm gonna win an Emmy."
Honestly, she might until she threatened to kill him and his wife. I feel like there was a chance. And by the way, here's the best part. There was a chance of winning an Emmy if she could have kept her shit together. If she could have kept her fucking cool just a little bit, the story itself may have won her a local Emmy for taking down a politician, but she allowed herself to get way too raged up.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Okay, go ahead. While you're searching, wait, you also think that her rage, her anti-Semitic act, and then her also falsely accusing him of like exposing himself to underage children, that the latter being a hang up and her winning an Emmy?
The exposing himself and uploading himself to the internet. Okay, I'm talking just bare bones facts here.
Yeah.
Cheating on his wife.
Yeah.
Nude photos on the internet. La. If she had just gone with the story, then yes, she probably could have won herself a local enemy.
Yeah.
Emmy. As soon as she, pardon the pun, inserted herself into the story, that's where she lost all of it. If she could have kept her cool and just reported the facts, even if she was a part of the story, because she could have been like, how do I know these facts are true? Because he was sticking his dick in me for the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Jet, back to you. That could have because she would have taken down the mayor of a major American city, and that would have won her an Emmy. But no, she had to get too fired up.
Yeah.
This is the best part. Athens was arrested later Friday after trespassing in the television studio. She allegedly accosted the station manager, who charging documents identify as her boyfriend, and was arrested by police.
Yeah.
Damn.
And when you say she would have won an Emmy or potentially been nominated for one if she had kept her cool, based upon the the video and the sound clip that we saw, there's nothing that rings anywhere near keeping this woman's cool. I think that's just pretty much steady line crazy from wake up to going to bed.
100%.
Constant string of nut job. But hey, Mr. Ethan Berkowitz, I hope it was worth it. I hope you have some spank bank material for the next, 10 years. Maybe it'll work out while you're fishing for salmon in the fucking Puget Sound next year. All right. Without further ado, I think it's time for our favorite segment. Mr. Murr, take it away.
That's right. It's time for your favorite 3 questions, my friends. It is officially time for 3 and Out. And as always, 3 and Out being brought to you tonight by the Shin Splints Recovery Group. Make sure you find them on Facebook. Just head on over and search for the Shin Splints Recovery Group. If you've got any kind of ailment below the knee and above the ankle, that might just be the recovery group for you. And tonight we're going to do something a little bit different. We're actually going to start with our 3 and Out sneak peek question of the week. And I kind of just wanted to get some good old-fashioned audience engagement out of this. And it reads as such. Alan, we'll start with you. What would be the creepiest thing you could say while passing a stranger on the street?
Man, I feel like that's tough. I immediately went, when I read this online earlier, I immediately went to the sniff.
Yeah.
Or the something of the sort, because that's just, I think generally creepy. There's something animalistic about smelling someone. So so I think that like is probably the creepiest thing you could do. As far as saying though, I mean, I think like it's got to be something very simple.
Yeah,
Like
100%. It's got to catch them off guard.
yeah,
And it's got to make them think like, wait a second. What do you mean by that? I was going to go with, hey, I'll see you later.
yeah,
What? What
or
does
like
that mean?
or just like, hey, I love you. Just fucking blank. Hey, I love you.
Yeah, I feel like that would just get you punched in the mouth.
it might. I mean,
That's
I think
less-
a lot of these things could. I think a lot of the answers could possibly get you punched in the mouth.
The absolute weirdest thing you can say to a stranger in the street is not going to be worthy of a mouth punch.
Well, I just think because, like I was saying, I think the qualification for creepy has to be like they walk away and think about you later in the day. Like whatever you say is so seemingly innocuous in the moment that it's like, huh. And then when they finally get to their car, who the fuck was that? Do I know them?
Yeah. So, Alan, your answer is I love you.
I mean, yeah, I guess if it's verbal, like I love you, I won't take any other ones. I don't think. I won't take any other ones. We'll throw them out there later.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Am I up?
Yeah, you're up. You're up.
So I can't take full credit for this. This came via Alan, a fraternity brother of ours, who told me this one of the first times I met him, and it made me fucking like go into a corner of a party and be like, "What the fuck was that guy saying?" And it was okay. And I would tell this to a stranger. You're talking about the creepiest things. You say it in an English accent. I'm not going to do that because my English accent is pretty bad. But I remember your father when he was a child. Take care.
I'll remember your father when he was a child. Take care.
Jolly mate.
Wow, that's weird.
That's just weird. I don't know if it's creepy. I would just think like that guy's a fucking lunatic.
Yeah, that is strange.
Are you gonna walk away from any of these statements thinking like, "Oh, that guy's sane. That guy's got his screws together"?
Yeah, but I kind of want like if it's done to me and for it to be effective, I want it to be something like where I'm kind of maybe like looking over my shoulder for the rest of the day, you know, or the rest of the week. You know, like for me, I would maybe go with something like, "Hey, did you get new curtains?" And then just keep moving. You know, that, yeah, anyway, this was a bad question and I will admit to it. I just wanted to see if,
you said that.
I just, you know,
I think you just can't limit it to something verbal. I think like you have to be able to, but then you broach, you know, a sensitive, like, you know, like I think a caress of the face with the back of the hand would just fucking creep some people out. You know what I mean? But like how plausible is that?
Come here.
Yeah, but I feel like once you touch them, then you've crossed a certain line. For it to be completely psychological, like, hey, have you called your mom? And then just keep walking. That might be pretty creepy. Like, what does that mean?
Crazy. That'd be kind of wild.
Something that's got to like trigger their it's got to trigger their psyche to be like in the most uncomfortable state it could possibly be in.
This may not be the most creepiest, but a good like.
Or what if you just like ask people if they locked the door?
Oh, wow!
Hey, did you lock the door?
Yeah.
And people would just be like, "What? I don't know. Maybe."
Hey, you left the stove on.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But I think locking the door would get just like is super common. Whereas like you'd have to catch somebody fucking.
Is your dog home?
Like at the right spot for the stove, I think.
All right. Well, moving on. I'm going to try to make up for question number one. Look, I take a lot of pride in these questions, and when I feel like we reach like a stalemate on the answer, I feel personally responsible for stalling things out. Okay.
Weren't there answers? Via the Facebook?
Yeah, we can go read some of the answers. Let's see. Stan said, if I was walking down the street and a stranger said Peter Angelos is the best owner in baseball, I would use Usain Bolt in the opposite direction because that guy is certifiably batshit crazy. Now, I know you're aware of this. How do you say, is it Cleavon or Clevon? How do you say Clevon? Cleavon. I like Cleavon.
I think it's Cleavon.
Cleveland.
It's not Cleveland.
Cleveland. Lon.
There's no
L.
Cleveland.
I like Cleavon.
I think it's Cleveland, bro.
Cleveland.
I like Cleavon.
He's one of our,
you have pretty.
He's one of our most followed people.
Okay, well, I do kind of like Cleavon's answer. Now that I'm reading it further, you got pretty feet, dear. Will you come back to my trailer with me so I can photo them? That's pretty good. I like photo them.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how, good the phrasing actually was. Paul says, now, see, I like Paul's answer now that I'm reading it again. Your hair smells nice, because that implies that you've already smelled the hair without them knowing. Stan, it has a good throwback to last episode. I want to see my Apex Mexican Brahma cock. And some of them are just wildly inappropriate. But no, I do appreciate the participation here. All right, look, man,
the rain, baby.
I get flustered when I'm flustered. Okay, that's how it goes.
You do thing, baby.
All right, question number 2. Alan, we'll start with you. What mythical creature would improve the world the most if it existed?
Interesting. What's the breadth of our mythical creature here? Like, are we talking like classic mythical creature, like Greek and Roman, like kind of mythology, or are we talking like something from fucking Harry Potter?
Okay,
or from
no.
fucking Lord of the Rings.
I don't want to go with modern fiction. Modern fiction. Now, see, the reason I will go with ancient fiction is because there's no one to pin down. Like, I know who J.K. Rowling is, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I know Dobby's a made-up character. But, I guess I'm thinking of, like, the Bigfoots, the unicorns, the centaur, maybe dragons, things that could be potentially, have existed, but are probably more myth than fact.
So that would be useful is the key here to us as humankind, or just be cool?
Would improve the world in some capacity by their sheer now non-mythical existence.
I think you mentioned dragons, which would be a good one. There's just a fine line there of whether or not we can control dragons or not. Mm-hmm. Which I feel like we can figure it out, right? They're animals.
But what use would they be?
I mean, they're giant animals. They create fire. That's fucking energy. Like, there's a lot of. I think they're fairly useful. We just got to kind of drill down into it.
So, are you saying we would potentially replace coal factories with dragons?
It's possible. We could.
Fair. Okay.
Could do that. I feel like they'd be good for labor. You know what I mean? They could haul lots of stuff long distances very, very easily.
It's fair.
Cut down shipping costs. You could just strap a bunch of fucking like cargo containers to one and get, a bunch of Amazon stuff over from China super quick. Like fuck 2-day, 4-hour, boom. Doesn't even matter. Doesn't matter where it is. You don't need to be in a major city. 4 hours, fucking Topeka, Kansas. You got it.
So you're going like multiple, like medium to small dragons, not like.
I think there's a vast array of dragons. There might be multiple species of dragons, or multiple subspecies, let's say. So some smaller, some bigger. Varying degrees. Because originally, I was gonna say some Pegasi, I believe that is the official plural of Pegasus.
Okay. Wouldn't that be a little safer than dragon if you're going for Amazon delivery capability?
It would be, but I guess now I have to carry logic over. Do I get to size the Pegasi? Like, are there different subspecies of Pegasi? Do I get giant Pegasi like I get giant dragons and smaller Pegasi?
No, Pegasi is.
Or do I just get horse-sized Pegasi and that's it? Because
wait.
They're pretty unidimensional.
I feel like that was a little harsh there, Wes. I mean, there are miniature horses. There are like the dwarf horses.
Okay, sure, but the varying between because I was
the biggest I could get is like a Clydesdale.
I was going to say a Pegasi or Pegasus, because I think that personal travel with this, if you had your own and you could fly to somewhere
That's
else,
good.
save a little
That's
gas
good.
mileage, et cetera, et cetera. Would be good. Yeah, I think you would be limited to the size of a horse. Yeah, the Clydesdale, and I don't know if you got Doc Antle with it and crossbreeded it, you might be able to get something slightly bigger than a Clydesdale, but you're not going to get a goddamn Cadillac-sized fucking Pegasi, make it soar.
So Wes, you're saying Pegasus to replace fossil fuel travel.
I'm saying Pegasus
So like everybody gets one.
replace. Well, no, not everyone. Only the upper middle class and the aristocrats who can afford them. Because they
So like vehicles.
in short distances. I would say like 15 to 20 miles ish.
That's it.
Maybe you get some like crazy bastard that get you 60 miles.
Yo, Perseus flew that bitch to kill Medusa and then back and fought the Kraken.
Right.
I seen Clash.
I would say every now and then you come across a Secretariat bastard that can really, they can really do some damage. But every now, for the most part, you're gonna get a Dodge Neon of the Pegasus breeds. Of the phylum.
A moderately sturdy, like one leg kind of gives out after like 2 or 3 years, but you can just swap it out for a black leg.
And you got to replace a horseshoe in the backyard, and every now and then that bastard fucking gives you one right in the gut. Prick.
I just feel like, man, like, I mean, I kind of like, I like where you're going with this. It would replace like fossil fuels. It's probably more eco-friendly than digging for all these minerals that we're probably going to have to go to war to dig out of the ground at some point to build my Tesla that I plan on buying the next 3 or 4 years. But then think about all the shit that would be falling from the sky.
Well, so basically,
I was gonna
it's not worth it because of poop.
Well, that brings the question: do they poop like horses?
Yes, they're just simply horses with wings.
You said it's a matter of fact that it's a mythological creature, motherfucker. We don't know.
but it's not pooping in my yard. It's out of my hands.
Have any of you come across any ancient inscriptions that showed Pegasi fucking grazing in a field?
If it's got an ass, it shits. That's just logic.
We know that it has an asshole, though, my friend.
Well, you gotta feed it.
That I just asked the question. Have you seen one eat?
No, we don't know.
No.
How the hell do we know the anatomy of a mythical?
That's what I'm saying. We're hypothesizing. Is if it poos, then it's a problem.
Okay.
Like Mur said, if it doesn't poo because it's a fucking mythological creature and not real, then it's a prime fucking candidate for what Wes is saying to use it for.
Do those dragons that you were talking about poop?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So,
because I'm just making the decision that they eat.
A red dragon that poops the size of a fucking Dodge Neon all over 95.
I'm saying is, yeah, that's problematic. I didn't say it wasn't. We didn't bring that up until now. we just brought that up. My point here, and to driving what I was getting at is like, in everything that I have ever seen a Pegasus in, I've never seen it eat. I've seen dragons eat. That's literally part of their attack arsenal is eat you. So it's like I think about it like zombies. Like, you know how most zombie fucking movies don't have the concept of zombies, so it always takes them like half an hour to figure out you got to kill it in the head. You get what I'm saying? Like, that universe doesn't have the concept of zombies. So in this universe, do fucking Pegasi poop?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. That's all I'm saying.
It's a living creature. The only reason it's mythological is because it doesn't currently exist. Once it's in existence, then yes, it's a living, breathing creature.
And then maybe the air traffic controllers or someone who makes laws about drones says the Pegasus doesn't fly over fucking heavily trafficked areas. They got to go over farmlands and rural areas, and you might want.
No, I think if you get Pegasi, like household Pegasi, like cars, like station wagons, they can absolutely enter fucking international airspace. That's perfectly fine.
I'm sticking with fucking Pegasi. Fuck you. You haven't fucked me out of it. And I'm too stupid to come up with anything else other than Atreyu from fucking never.
What? Oh, you mean Falcor?
Falcor. So.
Yeah, that would be fucking sweet.
Falcor eyes, multiple.
Yeah.
What? Just like a big fucking dog that talks,
A giant
flies.
dog that talks and flies. Yes.
Hey man, can mend families together, make kids all warm and fuzzy,
Yeah.
good about themselves.
Look, I don't want the creatures that I'm probably going to be fucking abusing to be able to tell me about it.
It can protect.
I'm probably not going to take great care of my Pegasus. Okay, so I don't want him to tell me about like, hey, you didn't brush me today.
All right,
I don't want no lip. I don't want no lip from my fucking functional pet, man. I was actually just gonna go with the standard. I was gonna go with Bigfoot. I feel like there's multiple reasons. One, it makes assholes like you look like idiots who don't believe in Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Who have
Fair.
I was gonna say because Murr would be the first person to call me and be like, "Ha ha!
Oh yeah, I probably would
You're
too.
a piece of shit, dickhead! you bastard!"
pretty much you just about nailed the first 10 seconds of our conversation once they fucking float into existence. Two, we might be able to figure out a little bit, from a archaeological standpoint, we can find that missing link between like where we came from and why we're here now. They're great at camouflage. They know a lot about guerrilla warfare. We could probably use a lot of those tactics in special operations in the military. They're obviously strong as shit, so we could fucking finally herd them in, breed them, use them in our mining operations and factories. Now, this wouldn't be good for the Bigfoot, but the question wasn't necessarily what's good for the mythological creature. It's what would make the world better. And I feel like a sub-sentient humanoid that we could enslave without any political repercussion might be beneficial to all human societies.
And then, of course, a couple petting zoos with the little Bigfoots or the miniature
Naturally.
Bigfoots, like Doc Antle style. Like, oh, look at him, he's so cute.
Yeah. But then you won't be able to release them back into the wild because they'll be too stupid.
But that's okay. We don't need them back in the wild. And by the way, Wes, I would call what you're speaking of. I would call them tiny toes. Welcome to Tiny Toes Petting Zoo. Come on in.
Could you imagine just tiny little fucking Bigfoots
I want
walking
to let
around?
you know that I'm kind of rooting for something like this to happen. That way, you guys can fucking blow my spot up. I'm pulling for it. I'm pulling for this.
I just remember there was a documentary about Bigfoot, and because there's many varieties of the Bigfoot. There's the classic, and then there's the Yeti, and then there's the abominable snowman, and then there's this thing called the Louisiana skunk ape.
Yeah.
And the Louisiana skunk ape it's Bigfoot, but it just lives in the southern southeastern part of the U.S. And there was this guy, and he was on the documentary, and he was like a PhD. He was a fucking like surgeon. He was a doctor. He was a fucking surgeon, and he cuts people open and fixes them like machines. And they had to blur his face and like warp out his voice. And it's like, well, I know what I saw, and but there's no way I could ever go public with this, And he's just talking about like how he fucking saw this thing, and he knows that no one's ever gonna believe him, and his entire life would be ruined if it ever got out that he was the one speaking on this documentary. And I felt so horrible for this guy because he definitely, based on his story, he definitely saw something anomalous that he's not allowed to talk about openly. And I could imagine like the weight lifted off of all of these people's shoulders and the finger pointing and laughter that I could have at folks like you. It would just, it would make my world better.
Yeah.
Do you know how many mammals that are bigger than a squirrel that have been discovered since 1800 that have not? Rather,
all of them.
It's zero. They all have. Every single one of them. There's nothing like 8 foot tall putzing around the fucking the wilderness.
Okay, if there's okay, god damn it, why do I always get myself trapped in these fucking conversations? If there is a small pack of Bigfoot, okay, like living in like a highly dense forested area, they could, I don't know what their familial structure is, okay? You know, maybe there's just like a small colony. There's we've talked about this before. There's uncontacted tribes. There are human beings, okay? There are Homo sapiens living in the wilderness that still don't know that there is a helicopter that can float off the ground. They're not aware of any technology. They don't know that we've landed on the moon. They don't know that we've invented the Hot Pocket. They don't know that the printing press exists. They are still out there. These are people that are in the world that don't know the rest of the world exists. So to tell me that there couldn't be some sort of primitive humanoid ape-like creature that's able to hide out in its natural habitat, I'm just saying it's plausible. I'm not saying it exists. I'm saying it's more plausible than folks like you give it credit for.
Yeah, I agree.
Hold on, and you're saying that said creature looks something like so, but
this better be fucking hilarious.
Saying that said creature, this is kind of
Okay, this is from the documentary Harry and the Hendersons.
John Lithgow, folks. I think it's kind of right here. Look, we found him.
Let me tell you something.
With no toothbrush and toothpaste, his teeth look fucking amazing.
Okay, listen. There are natural tooth cleaning utensils that nature has provided. Okay.
You don't eat sugar. I get it. Yeah, if you don't indulge in paydays and things of that nature. So,
if you have a high fiber diet, then if you're eating roots and berries, then yes, you can keep all of your teeth. And by the way, there's a scene at the very end of Harry and the Hendersons when they finally release Harry back into the wild, and there is a plethora of big feet standing in frame, and you don't notice them until they move to welcome Harry back to his natural tribesman and habitat. So fuck you once again.
Okay. All right. We'll wait for that day, man. It's coming.
Yeah, but I didn't know. So, like, Mert, are you like really strongly on this believe in Bigfoot thing?
I am very strong on the plausibility of Bigfoot. I am not one to stand full, pardon the pun, full foot and firm on that he definitely exists. But I get angry at the naysayers, the immediate naysayers, the ones that are just like, no, doesn't happen, can't be, can't. How many species do they find above the size of a squirrel every year? 0. Those are the people that anger me. Okay.
Yeah, no, I agree.
The absolutists.
Do you believe that there's also an Arctic Yeti style one?
I actually believe that the Arctic Yeti style one is more plausible than the upper northwestern version.
Okay. Yeah. I also don't think it's an Arctic one. I think it's more of a
Antarctic,
more of like a mountain, like Himalayan. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
Yeah.
And anybody.
You brought something up. So like that's what. So I might have mentioned this to you guys before, but when I was finishing my bachelor's at UMBC, I had to take an elective for psychology, and the elective was social psychology and belief in the paranormal. And it was phenomenal. It was a summer course.
Are you about to diagnose me with something, Alan?
No, man. So we had to write a big ass paper at the end of it on something ridiculous, and I wrote a paper on Bigfoot. And I think that's what probably captured my imagination the most is how many different, even warring native Indian tribes to the Pacific Northwest have descriptions of this thing going back fucking ages. They have carved it into totems. They have fucking written about it. They've drawn it. And like, I think that was the thing that really got me, was like how many ancient peoples have claimed this to exist in fucking. So do I think in America it's as plausible? No, I think it's probably more plausible in somewhere like a mountain range or somewhere like in Southeast Asia where tigers are, because there's just mad shit. Like planet Earth, they discovered like fucking 50 species just doing one documentary in Borneo. Like there's something out there, man.
Yeah, they just mysteriously can't come across a carcass or any bones or artifacts that.
But it's admittedly such a fool's errand that no one's really like. You've only got assholes with fucking like Sony camcorders venturing out into the woods with a Walmart pop tent looking for him.
You have those fucking jackwagons on fucking Animal Planet with the big guy Bobo, who's basically just a Bigfoot himself, looking for a Bigfoot.
Yeah, and he's got that, and the guy who's got the native mating call.
Yeah, that's the guy. That's the big dumb idiot.
I feel like I would give up this argument if we employed the full forces of the United States military to comb every last unturned rock on this continent to prove the existence or non-existence. Then I might give it up.
No.
If I was president, that's probably what I'd do.
Because then you would say the government was in on it.
No, I promise you. Because I would be in charge of this endeavor, and that's how we would get to the bottom of it. I actually had a guy when I was on the radio. I was interviewing a guy from the National Guard, and I asked him this very question: if we could employ the full forces of the United States military, and he would not answer the question, which actually just raised more questions for me.
God, can we watch this idiot do the fucking squatch call on fucking Conan?
Screen share. Sure. See. Damn it. Hold on. Hey, Moore asked the third question. I'll give you your in rights. We'll do it at the end.
Okay. All right. And finally, your last question in tonight's 3 and Out. Wesley, we will start with you. Would you rather have uncontrollable, violent diarrhea at a crowded festival, or knowingly but randomly projectile vomit while meeting your future in-laws for the first time?
All right. Uncontrollable diarrhea at a festival around a bunch of strangers, or vomit knowingly in front of my future in-laws?
Correct.
Oof.
And the stage I'm setting for the festival is like when you see when a rock star like band goes to a foreign country, like Gloucester or whatever the hell that is, and you just see like the sea of people, like a very Woodstock-esque, and you're right in the middle.
Yeah.
You've got violent diarrhea, like the kind of diarrhea that's going to drain your body of all liquid.
Mm-hmm.
Or you know that you're going to vomit at some point during this meeting of your significant other's, parents.
Right.
You know it's going to happen. So it's like you can either explain that away or deal with the festival scenario.
Yeah. So would this be the first time that I'm meeting with the in-laws, or
correct?
It doesn't. Okay. The first time.
Yes.
Whew. I feel like if it's my future in-laws, and that means that it's with the woman that I intend to marry, that I love, and she loves me, I feel like I would prefer that, for the simple reason that once that happens, I am personable enough to come out and say, like, oh, listen, I'm really sorry. I don't know what the hell happened. Listen, I'll help clean up. That's not who I am. I'm really sorry, et cetera, and that'll be fine. But I don't know. I don't want to sit there and deal with some diarrhea dookie mess in some city where I got to walk like 17 football fields back to home base and clean up my own fucking poop out of my rear end, and then go back to the to some other rave tent. I don't even know if that's a thing. Is there rave tents things now?
I think they're probably a growing thing, unfortunately.
So, yeah, I listen, I know that sounds weird, but perhaps just assuming that maybe it doesn't happen right at the dinner table with lamb chops and asparagus and boiled red skin potatoes. And I'm like, whoa, Linda Blair over everything. That's the worst case scenario. But maybe we're on the back patio and we're drinking red wine. And I just like, whoa. And it's like, oh, God, listen, just holy smokes. Something came over me.
Before I explain my reasons for liking or disliking your answer, Alan.
So I'm going to go with shitting myself at a festival for sake of argument. Here.
Okay, all right.
I think the food thing would be perfectly fine. Like, I think that's fine. Like, I wouldn't even stress about that. I'd be like, actually, time to go. Let's get the fuck out of here. So yeah, not a problem there. I don't really think. But shitting yourself at a festival, I think if you're festivaling correctly, and what I mean by that is I assume that you've got some sort of knapsack with accoutrement, maybe a rain jacket in case it rains, just some other your drugs, whatever else you got on yourself that you need for your festival day. I think you might be able to get away with just fucking voiding yourself in like a fucking lawn because I'm sure someone else is somewhere. And then, clean yourself up, throwing on your rain jacket or your extra fucking clothes and just going about your day and not having to walk that 17 miles all the way back. Or yeah, I mean that's about it. I think that's really my tactic. I don't have any other fucking.
I feel like you just got lost in your own explanation.
No. I was like, I thought there might be an alternative, but there isn't really an alternative. If you're gonna shit yourself at a festival, just shit yourself.
If you're festivaling correct.
If you're festivaling correctly, which I believe means you're just on tons of drugs, you really don't know where you are,
and you don't care about,
and you don't care about it really. So yeah, like. Just just get it on out there. But maybe you buy a T-shirt of a band that you don't even know, and you just go ahead and you go ahead and wipe yourself down. You get yourself cleaned up. Dump some water on yourself. There's probably some free water around. You could get by because at the end of the day, you're just a fucking grime ball at a festival, fucking eating mushrooms and fucking touching other adults in funny places. Just fucking, I think, just go for it. Fuck it.
Well, and you would probably end up creating a lot of space for yourself at a crowded festival if you're just covered in shit.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think, that too. I didn't even get to like. You're probably wearing some kind of sockless footwear, so it's not a big deal. Just.
I guess. I
think there's an easy way out of it. At a festival, there's somebody with a fucking hose or something. Just fucking give me a hose down. I'm fucking good. And like I said, you're on enough Molly to, not really give a shit until next month. So.
All right. So Alan, your final answer is you're amongst strangers, so you don't give a shit if you shit yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. That's the gist of it. I think it's prime opportunity.
So, okay, but see, Wes, the reason I like your answer, it's the same answer I would give, and I think it opens up light on our personalities. One, if the in-laws are so turned off, or the chick you're going to marry is so turned off by this event of, random projectile vomit, then maybe that's not the person that you and people you need in your life, and you find out there's something illuminated that you may not have seen before. If they're cool with it and you can walk away from that event, that is a wonderful story. No matter how tragic it seems in the moment, It's a wonderful story to be able to pass on. Hey, remember the first time we met? Oh yeah, I shot pea soup across the room. I ruined that silk tie you bought just for the event.
Your kids would tell that.
Yeah. Remember how Dad met Mom? Yeah.
Great grandpa puke pea soup all over the goddamn thing. Then folklore would build.
Yeah. I would not want to be trapped in a sea of humans with shit squirting out an orifice in my body that I don't even like to touch on a clean day.
Yeah.
and I have this. Okay, quick story. We had to take again. I know Glory Days Radio. We had to take a group of people down to this Ravens event in Baltimore. Every year, like right before the first game of the season, they would hold like an event down at what's that, Live Nation or whatever. What's the where the group of bars are, and they would have outdoor concerts. Power Plant Live.
Power Plant Live, yeah.
And I had not eaten all day. It was like 10 o'clock at night. I'd been up since like 4 a.m, and we were inside this sea of people. And I decided I was going to go and just smoke a cigarette. Wink, wink. And all of a sudden, I felt like I was going down. If my co-host had not led me out of that crowd, I might have been trampled to death. And I just remember that sea of anxiety of just being trapped inside the crowd, and I needed to get out of there. I could not imagine that feeling of just liquid shit coming out of my body, and I have to like Firefly Festival my way through just like a mile's worth of humanity to get to safety. It just that is the worst feeling in the world. I would rather be amongst people that I potentially love and just have to explain away an embarrassing situation. So yes, I'm going to go projectile vomit at the first meeting of a group of very important people.
Well, the weird thing is you're also assuming that it's just going to be like liquid poop. It could be just a straight up fucking, very fiber rich fucking donk that comes out of you.
That would be worse.
That'd be
Yeah,
worse.
I feel like if it was like uncontrollable, like a constant stream of like hard shit, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like Al, that would almost be worse because I would be uncomfortable. At least with like liquid shit, it's just dripping out of you and down your legs.
Yeah. Like I think that it's a cleaner escape. If you have to weigh the two.
Marathon runners deal with it all the time.
Oh God,
I think they do.
God,
that's
the trots. Yeah, no, that's the thing. There's a classic picture of like this guy in a marathon, and he's just got like baby puke, fucking yellow green shit coming down his legs. And God bless him for finishing the race.
Was that 3 and out?
And that is 3 and out.
And hey, listen, I know that we've talked about this. 3 and out is our sponsor is the Shin Splints Recovery Group. I once in my life had shin splints after I broke my leg and tried out for the freshman basketball team at Perryville High School. Had a problem with some shin splints. Kind of changed my life. So for those folks that are in the Shin Splints Recovery Group and you're listening to this, God bless you. And I'm glad you're funneling money into the middle class holes, and we're gonna keep this thing rocking and rolling. We're gonna get to the bottom of the itis that goes between your ankle and your knee.
Finding a cure.
Yeah, we're gonna get to it.
Yeah, I just remember playing soccer. I had some really bad shin splints my junior year, and I just dealt with it. And then they went away.
That's a good story.
That's just that's how I recovered. Is I just kept playing.
Yeah,
eventually.
There's one time at a festival, I thought I was gonna poop, and I just pooped my pants. And that was it.
Poop my pants. Just got it done.
There we go. All right, Alan, where can we find us at?
Oh, we're at MDL Classholes on Instagram and Twitter. And we're the Middle Classholes on Facebook and everywhere else. Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, some other things that we're on that I probably am forgetting right now.
Yeah.
No, I think you nailed them, actually. You nailed them that time.
Is that all of them?
You had the slow crawl out of the hole, man. You nailed it. You went in hard, and you came out soft.
That's exactly how I like it.
Just like the mayor of Anchorage.
Just like those alpacas that we're gonna...
Oh, those alpacas.
Those soft dickheads.
Soft dickheads.
Everybody, good night.